why the fuck haven't we sent this guy to Chernobyl? Like, he could probably eat the radioactive waste. So we could start that. Before starting watching the video, my first opinions about that is, yeah, there can be people with let's call them superpowers. I'm not denying that there isn't people who are like genetically, like their genes are just different, like how they recover from training, how they develop muscle and power and speed. People's genes are different, so yeah, there can be anomalies. But I don't think to call them superpowers is really honest. There we go.
Superhero stylized movies are one of the most popular types of entertainment known to man. You'll be surprised to know that some ordinary people actually have pretty extraordinary powers. Today you guys we're gonna take a look at 10 people with real superpowers. A Dutch athlete, Wim Hof, is known by the vast majority of people as Iceman. This guy's incredibly adapted to cold temperatures. He says that it has something to do with his unique breathing technique, as well as his natural ability to swim in freezing cold water. He set his record in Finland when he spent almost 2 hours in cold water. That's not all. This guy even climbed Mount Everest wearing only shorts. French entrepreneur Michel Letido impressed the public in the 20th century.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the first guy. Yeah, I think you can do that by training. You need a strong mental capabilities, and you need strong physical capabilities. You need to basically know your body pretty good and know your limits in order to do the things that the Iceman did. But yeah, I think that you need to have a strong mind to do that. Would I call that a superpower? Not really. Maybe then if he went to Siberia, and where there's like 70 degrees, minus 60, minus 70 degrees Celsius, and he slept outside for a week, or lived outside for a week with only his boxers, then I would call it a superpower.
Wearing only shorts. French
okay, the Mount Everest thing was actually pretty cool.
Entrepreneur Michel Letido impressed the public in the 20th century with his incredible ability to eat almost anything. It all happened when he was only 9 years old. Little Michel took his parents by surprise when those saw that their child ate a TV set. But Michel didn't stop there. Later on, this guy managed to eat.
I recall he was monitored while he was in the ice water for 2 hours, and his body acted up normally according to the researchers. It was done in Finland, I think. Yeah, he told me it was done in Finland. But yeah, you could actually pretty much train for that, right? It's amazing what you can train for, and I'm pretty sure you can train your body to withstand cold better than normal. But yeah, I don't know how to train for this guy. Still wouldn't call this superpower.
A whole plane. It took him 2 years, but there you have it.
Did he say he ate a full plane?
The whole plane. It's sad. But Michel didn't stop there. Later on, this guy managed to eat a whole plane. It took him 2 years, but there you have it.
What? Tell me I heard it right. He ate a whole plane.
This guy managed to eat a whole plane. It took him 2 years, but there you have it. A Cessna 150 plane was eaten by this guy like it's a part of his usual diet. Doctors say that Michel's weird obsession with eating inanimate objects is a psychological defect. It's a miracle how this guy is still alive after eating a whole freaking plane.
What? Okay, now I have to withdraw my statement. I think that's a superpower. Imagine eating anything. Why the fuck haven't we sent this guy to Chernobyl? He could probably eat the radioactive waste.
guy they call Super Samurai.
I know this guy. This is the guy who sliced the bullet, right?
Because of his incredible abilities. This guy's reflections and reactions are super swift. He's an Idaho master, and he's a big professional. He's got a bunch of Guinness World Records, including the one when he cut the moving bullet in half. That's a bullet flying 158 kilometers per hour. That is no joke. Scott?
That is actually cool. I think there's a video of that.
BB gun. It's traveling over 200 miles per hour. A normal person would have no chance.
I heard it, but I didn't see it.
I saw a flash. The
What?
blade went by. All right,
So
we're gonna
let's
play
see.
back.
Let's
We're
see
gonna
what
play
this is
back.
about.
Using the slow motion camera, I want to see if Machi-san has achieved the superhuman. Oh man!
Wow. This is a different level of.
By the time they moved the sword into position, the pellet would have traveled past them. I think, yeah, this is the one.
I'm pretty sure the samurai just pre-aimed in a certain spot and hoped the bullet was there. Because you don't have that quick, your reflexes isn't that fast, so you need to like pre-aim the spot. You can't first try to see the bullet come and then try to hit it, because it would be too late.
Flansburgh is a machine.
Okay, but after the next guy.
Not because his
But he is a great samurai, and also he's pretty accurate with the sword. He can cut a baseball from a pitching machine, and a football, and many other things. So he's actually pretty accurate with the samurai sword. I don't think he can stop a bullet.
super strong and tough, but because
I hope the guy is here who can actually catch an arrow. That's cool.
he can think and count faster than a calculator. He's in the book of Guinness World Records as the world's fastest human calculator. This guy does complex computations fast and easy.
Again, is this a superpower?
That's 15 seconds faster than people with calculators.
We're
Flansburgh does complex math.
we are stretching the meaning of superpowers quite a lot. Like resistant to cold was okay, that could be a superpower. Eating anything, well, that is actually a superpower. Being above average samurai isn't a superpower, and being good at maths, I'm pretty sure that's not a superpower.
For a long time now. He really is a remarkable kind of dude. Claudio Pinto from a small town in Brazil, Belo Horizonte, is a living meme. You probably saw this guy.
Okay. As a huge comic book fan, being Batman and the abilities Batman can do aren't superpowers. Even though he is great what he does, you can't call them superpowers because he's been training his whole life to be Batman. Superman's ability to fly and shoot lasers from his eyes and breathe whirlwinds and snow, basically. Those are superpowers.
A million times now. He can squeeze his eyes out like 4 centimeters. That's doubling his eyeball proportions. All while Pinto does this trick a million times a day. It doesn't hurt and it don't do him no harm. Daniel Browning is known as the
I don't think that's a superpower.
Rubber Boy. Has been the world's most flexible man 5 times in a row. He started out when he was 18. That's when he squeezed himself through the tennis racket. He can put himself in a tiny box or a bag. His hands and legs can be tied into C-knots. That's how flexible he is. Daniel is a good example of the sort of guy who has talent, but who's also incredibly hardworking, so that's what makes him so unique. Another super
that's close to a superpower.
talented guy on our list is Stephen Wilshire. He paints and he does that brilliantly. Just look at how real his paintings are. I know it's hard to sense the beauty through the monitor screen, but man, those are nice paintings. I mean, you can stare at those for hours trying to catch all the tiny details. Stephen has a case of savant syndrome. It's when you somewhat look like mentally retarded, but when in fact you are a genius. So this guy's genius is his ability to remember things very specifically. Steven has wonderful photographic type of memory. Veronica
Yeah. I think this video is titled wrong. 10 people with real superpowers. I would title this like 10 amazing abilities humans can do.
Writer from Germany can see things 20 times better than anybody. She can see far away, and scientists conducted an experiment. It turned out that this woman has some sort of an inbuilt binoculars in her eyes. She can recognize faces from a distance of 2 kilometers. That's not all though. Veronica rewrote a 10-page text on a tiny piece of paper without using any type of magnifier. That's just incredible. Most runners are forced to stop at the so-called lactate threshold, but Dean Karnazes is a different type of human. His incredible abilities allow him to run day and night without stop. His muscles are incredibly adaptive. Apparently, this guy was able to run 80 hours straight. That is 600 kilometers.
What?
So he's basically an ultimate marathon guy. Days and days of endless marathons is exactly what this guy was built for. Okay, and the last dude with super abilities in our list.
Yeah, but that is also like this guy's genes are built different. They don't generate the, I'm pretty sure it's in the English it's lactic acids that makes your muscles fatigue. So that's a genetic anomaly. Yeah.
600 kilometers. So it's basically an ultimate marathon.
So that's a genetic anomaly.
Days and days of
Nothing else.
Marathons is exactly
Not
what
a
this guy
superpower,
was built
but
for.
it's
Okay,
like
and
one
the
in a
last dude
million
with
basically,
super
1 in
abilities
10
in our
million.
list today is Ben Underwood.
Well, he can't run forever. He's there are different things that can get fatigued. The muscles aren't everything. His brain can get fatigued. His heart can get fatigued. There's so much his joints and bones can take if he runs long distances.
He was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 2, so they had to remove his eyes when he was only 3. When Ben turned 5, he discovered his incredible echolocation capabilities. By making noises with his tongue, he's able to identify nearby objects. He uses his unique abilities to play basketball, ride a bike, play football, and do skateboard stunts. How awesome is that? Okay, that's all.
It's fun and all that he listed all of those things, but he really didn't show any of them. Here he is riding a bike though, yeah, on a closed street.
Days and days of endless marathons is exactly what this guy was built for. Okay, and the last dude with super abilities in our list today is Ben Underwood.
Ben Underwood. Or something like that. Ben Underwood. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to see that though.
And this. And even this.
I don't think I've ever come across somebody like Ben. You know, he was quite unique.
Ben lost his eyes to cancer, but unbelievably, he's taught himself to see with sound.
If he chooses to go out there and ride that bicycle, let him ride the bicycle.
It's got to be very smart. Somewhere in there, it's a little genius going on.
I don't consider myself blind. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Ben has no guide dog and never uses a white cane. He's not even using his hands. Instead, he sees with sound. He makes a sharp click which bounces back off nearby objects. Amazingly, Ben's ears pick up the echoes and he can precisely locate where things are. Ben is the only person in the world who sees using nothing but echolocation.
I would want to test that out though.
To tell where walls are and
I would want to test that out. Like, it's easy in an environment you have been brought up to know where everything everything is and where. Because if you watch carefully how he walks down the stairs, He's walking, as it is called in the military, by feeling. Look at his feet. They are going over the steps, and he's feeling the step with his toes, where the edge of the step is.
He's not even using his hands.
That's a form of...
Instead, he sees...
That's not usual. That's not how normal people walk. But if you need to focus, especially in the military, if you're going in woods or something, in a terrain which is unstable, you need to focus forwards and you can't watch where you're stepping. You need to learn how to feel the step, so you don't have to take your eyes off the target. This is basically the same way, same thing.
With sound.
Like, in order to be able to do this, he needs to have like more than perfect hearing. He needs to have above average, above normal hearing, like way above. Like, even most of the animals can't do that, even if they're blind. There are just a handful of animals that can do that. So, for that reason, I don't think that's possible. Is it plausible? Yeah. Yeah, of course it's plausible, but he's riding a bike outdoors. There's other different noises everywhere. He's making a small sound with his tongue. And you're saying that he's hearing the sound of his tongue only. Haha. I've seen that meme. So yeah, I don't completely buy this. Yeah, that's true. That's a 100% true. But yeah.